Recently we all heard about Britney Spears got arrested. And of course, the news media had to jump all over it and, sensationalize it. We got war going on in Iran, but we're going to talk about Britney Spears getting picked up in California. And it's terrible. I don't like when the media jumps all over people. I don't care, if you like the celebrity or if you don't like the politician or the athlete or whatever. I don't think we have the right in interfering in their life as far as, broadcasting when something bad happens to them, but that's what we do. However, I'm going to grip my glasses. I went to the book, my book, Don't Drink or Use No Matter What. And no matter what means no matter what. At the end of each chapter, there's a thought section. And I remembered this part. It's short, so I'll just read it quickly. Have you ever held it all together on the outside, your job, your family, your image, while falling apart inside? Maybe you've told yourself the drinking or using isn't that bad. It takes the edge off. It helps you function. It's how you cope. Deep down, though, you know something isn't right. You've felt the emptiness, the shame, the broken promises. You've driven when you shouldn't have. Lied to someone who trusted you or numbed yourself just to get through the day. Well, here's the truth. It's not too late. If you're just going through the motions, ask yourself, is this really the life you want? You don't need to have it all figured out. What you need to be is honest with yourself. Maybe today is the day you stop pretending and start healing. For a lot of us, let's take what happened with Britney. It takes some serious consequences to happen in our life until we finally stop and say, I'm done. And you have that one honest moment with yourself. No matter what other people have told you before, the only voice you're hearing is your own at that point. And when you hear your own voice telling you it's over, stop. I can't go through it. I can't go through with life like this. Then that's where the change begins. I know for a fact in my life, I said those words like, yeah, I'm done. I'm going to quit. Yeah, I'm over. I can't do this anymore. 2 or 3 hours later, I'm opening up a can of, beer. It was all bullshit. But the last time, it wasn't. The last time I said to myself, it's over. You're done. You can't live like this. That was when I heard just my voice. But it went from here to my heart, where I understood. And it was a weird feeling. I can't describe it. But it was a moment where I just knew I was done. Think about it like this. Say if you've been in a relationship and your spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, were having problems. And you were constantly breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together. Then one day or one night, something happened. You had that one argument. Or maybe it wasn't even an argument. Something wasn't right. And you finally just looked at the other person and you said, hey, listen, I can't do this anymore. I'm not feeling it, or it's not right. And then you walk away. Even though there was a time where you liked that person, you may have loved the person, but it just wasn't right. There was something that was missing in that relationship. Maybe you were just using the relationship because you don't want to be alone. Maybe your friends hooked you up and you thought you guys would be good together. Probably, for the sex as well. But there was something that was missing. And you finally said, I can't do this anymore. I'm not wasting any more time. And you walked away. Well, that's what you have to do, in my opinion. I always say, in my opinion, I won't tell anybody what to do. But there comes a time when you just got to be honest with yourself and have a long talk with yourself. Hopefully there won't be anybody around because they're going to think you're crazy, but just to have a talk with yourself. And just say, what am I doing? Why am I behaving like this? We always say, why can't I stop? Why do I keep doing it over and over again when all this crap keeps happening to me? I got to stop. But see, you say, I got to stop instead of I'm done. And that's why when I wrote this book, I lived by that. I don't drink or use no matter what. And, for a lot of years, that I don't drink helped me no matter what. I could do anything I wanted to do. I could go any place I wanted to go. If there was alcohol, no big deal. I was young when I got sober, 32 years old. Got divorced. I was a single guy in Florida. I wanted to go out. I wasn't going to sit home. That's for damn sure. So, I went to bars. And I just ordered a soda or a bottle of water. And I was fine with it because I didn't drink no matter what. When I ran bars, when I was management in bars, I was a partner in a bar. Once again, I liked the atmosphere. I didn't drink. Why? Because I know what happens to me if I put alcohol in me. For me, it took me to look into the mirror after a night of drinking with some friends, and then I found out that I was a real asshole, to finally look at myself right in the mirror and say, I'm done. I can't do this. And it changed for me. But everybody's different. Everybody's got to have that aha moment, or it's just going to keep going and going and going. I don't know what happened with Britney. I don't know if she struggled with alcohol. I don't know her history like that. And again, it's none of my business. But she got popped driving while intoxicated. And then, now she's going to have to suffer whatever consequences come her way. And maybe for her, it's a good thing. She's 44 years old. That's plenty of time to, stop the drinking or drugging. But hopefully for her, she'll get some mental health help if that's what she needs. I'm not saying she needs it, but I've heard others mention that was a problem. But it always bothers me when I hear about that stuff, with other people. I always tried to pretend that I was a tough guy. And I hid a lot of my emotions because I don't want people to find out who the real me is. And when I see somebody hurting or I see somebody struggling, then it bothers me. It bothers me, especially when I know, there's a way out, there's help out there for people. You just got to go get it. And you got to want it. And there's nothing wrong with getting help. I'm stubborn. The last thing I want to do is ask people for help. But sometimes I do. And I've realized through life I don't know it all. Sometimes I think I do. But I don't. And I still need help on certain areas of my life, and I'm 65 years old. You're struggling with drugs or alcohol, go get some help. Go pick up this book, and all this book is my story, and there's little sections after each chapter of my life that I created a thought section, so you just read the questions or read the statements I make and see if you relate to it. And if you can relate to any of it, well, maybe it's time to go someplace, I'm not going to tell you where, for help. That's it. There's always help available. If you want a copy of the book and you can't afford it on Amazon, just drop me an email and I will send you a PDF copy for free. I don't care. My main thing is if you're struggling, you start getting some help. Life's short, and boy, let me tell you something. At 65 years old, I realize how short life is. So until the next time, remember, don't drink or use no matter what, and no matter what means no matter what.
So I don't drink or use no matter what. When life gets heavy, when it hurts like hell, when the old voice says just one's enough, I remember how far I fell. It ain't about strength, it's about trust and the line I draw in the night.